Hey everybody, Pastor Zach here. Thanks so much for spending some time with me this morning as we gather together, as we build community, as we find ways to share together. As always, I invite you to comment, to ask questions, and to leave smart remarks. Let us share in who we are in this day, April 1st, April Fool's Day. This is not a trick. It is just a time to gather together and to share in our joy, in what is going well with you, and what some of your challenges are. I posted this yesterday on my Facebook page, but it was also a point that I made in our sermon on Sunday that really struck me, and I wanted to just dig down into it a little bit. I said, God's grace unbalances us because God's grace isn't balanced. Now, maybe there's some clarity that needs to be made with that, but we this past Sunday we did the parable of the prodigal son, and we talked about the Father's grace for both sons, for both children. First and foremost, we look, I think, at the younger son who comes back, and the Father's grace that he bestows on that son. But also, I think we miss sometimes the grace that the Father bestows on the elder son. Because while the elder son, likes to uplift and profess and all of the stuff that I did, and, I did everything right and I followed all the rules, and yet we have this notion that, the Father goes out. The elder son refuses to come in, but the Father goes out and reminds him that even though the younger brother got this grace, that doesn't diminish anything that the elder has. The Father says that everything I have is yours. And I think so often we want to see the world as zero sum. We want to see the world where if I get something, that means you don't get it. Or if you get something, then I don't get it. And that there's this expectation, understanding of finite, that things are limited, when so much of it isn't, when there is so much to be able to share and to go around, that when we hear parables like this, when we hear passages like this, when we see the grace and the love of God that is shown, it unbalances us, because it's grace, which means that it's not deserved, that it's not earned. And we struggle with that concept, because I think so often, even though we profess it in our faith, even though we know that we have a God who does that, we struggle with a God that does that, because we want our faith to mean something. And so in order for it to mean something, we have to earn it. But is that the case? I think of some of the best gifts that I have given that I didn't deserve. It wasn't, something that I did. It wasn't a thank you. And even, if it was, it wasn't expected. I didn't do it for that reason, but rather, it was a gift, or the joy that I'm able to give out, to not expect something in return. And I think when we're able to do that, when we're able to offer that, I think it's profound. And so that's why, this came to me, this notion that God's grace unbalances us, because God's grace isn't balanced. It's not. If it were, then only those that deserved it would get it, and none of us deserve it. And yet all of us get it. And that's really powerful to me. It says a lot to us, I think, in our faith journey, that we have a God who comes alongside us, who in this season of Lent that we are in, that we are starting to wind down, that we have a God, actually we're halfway through today, that we have a God who comes down, that we have a God who invites us into relationship, that offers us this unbalanced grace, and that challenges us not just to accept it, but to share it. And I think for so many that becomes the hope and the biggest challenge for our faith. And so, has God's grace ever unbalanced you? Has someone's generosity or grace ever left you uncertain of your footing because it was just so meaningful? How do you get to share that grace? How do you get to live into that? How do you get to uplift someone else by it? We are here, as I said, April 1st, halfway through Lent. So Easter is in 20 days. April 20th, we will celebrate the joy of Easter. And I want to take a minute to invite all of you to our Holy Week activities. We begin on Palm Sunday with a combined service of the procession of the palms and also the Stations of the Cross. Then we will move through Holy Week with Maundy, Thursday, and Good Friday at 7 p.m., both on site and online. Then Easter morning, starting at 6:30 a.m., we will have a service outside at the Moton Playground. I don't know if it will be streamed live, but we'll see. And then 8:30 and 10:30 here with goodies in between, on site and online. But sorry, if you're online, no goodies. So hey, come on, join us. Take this as an invitation. Invite someone else. Help them experience God's grace that is unbalanced. God's grace that is so graciously given, so easily given. And the opportunity for all of us to experience it and to live into it. In our world today, I think that is where the church can grow. That is how the church can fit into society, in that we offer something that society doesn't expect. We offer a grace that is unbalanced, a grace that unbalances us, and the joy that comes with it all. So I want to thank you all for spending a few minutes with me this morning. I can't wait to hear your comments, your questions, your smart remarks. I invite you, if this strikes you this morning or whenever you fall upon it, to share it, to encourage someone else, to offer grace that maybe will unbalance someone else, or maybe will just start to tip the scale, to have an opportunity to share that. And if you are in need of it, if you need some grace, if you need some support, we are here. I am here, always. Feel free to reach out, to connect. We'll talk again soon. Hope you have a great day. Take care. God bless. We'll see you soon.